Hey guys, welcome to the video. I wanted to do a video just giving you some updates as to what I'm working on the bug. In the last week or two, I haven't actually gotten anything, let's call it substantial, or a project that I've started and finished, but I want to show you guys what I'm working on because I want everybody to know or to see that a lot of these projects, they require a lot of setup, getting things in line, parts, figuring out what you're going to do. Just kind of it kind of becomes more project management, and that's what I've been doing. So let me show you what I got done. So I guess the biggest thing I'm working on right now is the radiator is gone. Usually the radiator sits right here. Last weekend I drained the coolant out, pulled the radiator out, and all the radiator hoses. What I had discovered last year is the way the radiator sat in there, it was a nice compact design, but it was actually too close to the shock tower here, and it made accessing the shock absorbers pretty difficult. And then, as I discovered last year on the trail, I had a radiator fan that had failed, and accessing that fan was almost impossible because the radiator was so snug back here. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to change the radiator position to, instead of leaning back, I think I'm going to lean it up straight. And the only reason I'm going to do that is so that I have access to get down in there, change the fans if I need to, and it'll give me a little bit more access to the shock absorbers and anything else down here. And then as I'm telling you this story, you see my ECM, PCM, whatever you want to call it. This is the computer for the fuel injection system for the Ecotech. And what I did last year was I pulled this off of a junkyard engine. It was actually the same car that I took the motor from. Actually, I did that a couple years ago. And I didn't want to make too many changes to the wiring harness. So with the factory wiring harness, this was a good location for the ECM because the wiring harness reached to there. I made all the modifications I needed to the wiring harness. You know, I pulled out the sensors that I don't need and whatnot, and I cleaned it up. And the harness itself is in pretty good shape, but there are areas like right here where these wires are actually melted together just from, you know, being in that other car for almost 9 years. And that bothers me, you know. I don't like that too much. And I also don't like having the computer sitting right up here, and especially it gets a lot of heat from the radiator, so it gets pretty warm. So I'm in the middle of doing extensive internet research trying to locate new plugs and terminals for all of this stuff so that I can make myself a brand new wiring harness. And I don't necessarily want to just kind of rehack a junkyard wiring harness. I will if I have to. I mean, it seems like I can find about 75% of the plugs brand new, but not all of them. So I might have to make some sort of a hybrid. But either way, even if I do go with a junkyard wiring harness, when I do, I'm going to cut the wires, you know, all the way back to the plugs and make all the wiring brand new. But that's something that I'm currently working on. I'll find a website that's got some plugs and I'll order them, and I've gone to the junkyard and I've grabbed some additional plugs, and I'm gathering parts for that. And then in addition, when I do that, I'm going to make the wiring harness longer so that I can remove the computer from here, and I think I'm going to mount it somewhere down here, kind of behind the passenger seat or on the side of the chassis right here. This way it'll be out of harm's way and it'll be nowhere near the heat of the radiator. That'll allow me, you can see this wiring harness is a little bit of a mess as I've kind of learned along the way with it, and I'd like to clean some of that up, make it a really nice, super reliable setup. Even though I haven't had any issues with this wiring harness, it's worked flawlessly, but you know, this Baja is my pride and joy, and I'm trying to make everything on here absolutely as nice as possible. So hopefully, probably in the next month, because I'm still just searching the internet, gathering parts and information, I'll have a video where I make a new standalone wiring harness, and in that I'll give you guys all the part numbers and everything that I find to help you out with that. I've also got a little something I'm going to try on my quick disconnect steering wheel to take up some slack. I think I have an idea, but I haven't secured the parts to do that yet. And then if you follow me on Instagram at all, you'll see that I'm in the process of trying to make some sort of a light bar for the front of the Baja. And I had this light bar, I got that a while back, and I never really found a place to mount it. So I made this, and I put the side pods on here. The side pods are actually more relevant than the light bar, because on the mountain trails that I ride on, the speeds, you know, I'm going like 15 to 30 miles an hour, so I'm not going very fast, and the turns are tight, and so having these stick off to the side is actually more helpful. That's not the long term. That looks kind of silly. I'm gonna play around with this a little bit more. I think I'll add some sort of enclosure up here. I'm not sure yet, just to make these side pods look like they belong there. I'll do that and see how that looks, and then I might actually then step back and then redesign something new with a little bit different look, just because I'm experimenting and trying to find something that looks nice. And obviously, whatever I come up with, I'll put the measurements and whatnot on my shared drive, so that if you guys want to make one, you absolutely can. So I just wanted to give you guys a little idea of what I've been working on. I'm hoping to gather the parts, the radiator hoses, and the little 90-degree fittings and whatnot that I need to get the radiator in there, so that I can do that this weekend and get the Bug up and running again, because the trails are now open. So I'd like to get that taken care of so that I can go do a trail ride. So anyways, guys, that was just a little update video. Just wanted to show you guys what I've been working on with the Bug, so that next time you see it, you don't see all sorts of changes. Give me any comments, any ideas that you have for that light bar, because I am struggling with that a little bit. But keep in mind, I'm trying to make it somewhat match the architecture of the light wing, so that the two can kind of tie themselves together as far as aesthetics goes, if you know what I mean. Thanks for watching the video. I hope it's helping you guys out, and I hope to see you on the next one. Take care.